What if I told you that a simple half-dollar coin sitting quietly in your pocket could actually be worth far more than 50 cents? Most people ignore these coins every single day, but collectors, they're searching for them like hidden treasure. Today, we're diving into three specific half-dollars, 1972, 1980D, and 2022P. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might want to check every coin you own. But here's the thing, not all coins are valuable. The difference between a common coin and a rare one comes down to tiny details most people never notice. Let's start with the first coin. The 1972 half-dollar coin is part of one of the most recognizable and historically meaningful series in modern United States coinage, the Kennedy half-dollar. Introduced in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this coin quickly became both a circulating currency piece and a cherished collectible. By the time the 1972 half-dollar was produced, the coin had already undergone several important changes in composition, design perception, and public use, making this particular year an interesting moment in the coin's evolution. The 1972 half-dollar continues to feature the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, a design created by Gilroy Roberts. Kennedy's profile faces left, with a strong and dignified expression that reflects both leadership and remembrance. The word liberty curved along the top edge of the coin, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," appears just below the neck. The date 1972 is clearly struck at the bottom. The design remains largely unchanged from its original 1964 release, preserving the emotional and historical connection Americans felt toward the late president. On the reverse side, the coin displays the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. The central image is a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, holding an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and strength. Above the eagle is a ring of stars, representing the states, while a banner reading E Pluribus Unum stretches across the eagle's beak. Surrounding the central design are the inscriptions, United States of America and half-dollar. The reverse design gives the coin a strong patriotic identity and reinforces its connection to national unity. One of the most important aspects of the 1972 half-dollar is its composition. Unlike the original 1964 Kennedy half-dollar, which was made of 90% silver, the 1972 version contains no silver at all. By 1971, rising silver prices had forced the U.S. Mint to eliminate silver from regular circulation coins. As a result, the 1972 half-dollar is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This change significantly reduced the intrinsic metal value of the coin, but allowed it to remain in circulation without being hoarded for its silver content. The 1972 half-dollar was struck at two different mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins produced in Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while those struck in Denver feature a small D mint mark on the obverse, just above the date. There were no proof coins issued in 1972 from San Francisco for circulation purposes, but collectors could obtain proof versions as part of special proof sets. These proof coins were struck with a higher level of detail and a mirror-like finish, making them especially desirable for collectors. In terms of mintage, the 1972 half-dollar is relatively common. Millions of coins were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means that most examples found today are not particularly rare. However, condition plays a major role in determining value. Coins that have remained in uncirculated condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, are significantly more valuable than those that have been heavily used in everyday transactions. Collectors often look for coins with strong luster, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks. Another factor that can increase the value of a 1972 half-dollar is the presence of errors or unique varieties. Mint errors can occur during the production process and may include double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet defects. These errors are often rare and highly sought after by collectors. A 1972 half-dollar with a noticeable error can be worth far more than a standard example, sometimes reaching into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the rarity and condition of the error. Despite its historical significance, the 1972 half-dollar did not circulate as widely as earlier coins of the same denomination. By the early 1970s, half dollars were already becoming less common in everyday use. Many people preferred smaller denominations like quarters and dimes, and a half dollar gradually became more a collector's item than a practical currency. This reduced circulation means that many 1972 half dollars were saved rather than spent, contributing to their relatively high availability in today's coin market. The value of a 1972 half dollar depends largely on its condition and any special characteristics it may have. In circulated condition, most examples are worth only their face value or slightly more. However, uncirculated coins can be worth several dollars, and high-grade specimens certified by professional grading services can command significantly higher prices. Proof coins from 1972, especially those in pristine condition, are also popular among collectors and can be worth more than standard circulation strikes. For collectors, the 1972 half dollar represents an important piece of the Kennedy series and a reflection of a transitional period in U.S. coinage. It marks the era when silver was fully removed from circulating coins, signaling a shift toward more cost-effective materials. At the same time, it retains a powerful imagery and emotional significance associated with President Kennedy, making it both a historical artifact and a collectible item. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete sets of Kennedy half dollars, and the 1972 issue is a necessary part of that collection. While it may not be the rarest or most valuable coin in the series, it holds its own importance as a representation of the early 1970s and the changes taking place in American currency. Its availability also makes it an accessible entry point for new collectors who want to start exploring the world of coin collecting without needing a large investment. In addition to its numismatic value, the 1972 half dollar can also hold sentimental value for those who remember using or receiving these coins in everyday life. For some, it serves as a reminder of a different era, when larger denominations were more commonly used and when the memory of President Kennedy was still fresh in the minds of many Americans. Now, let's talk about the 1980 D half dollar, minted in Denver. The 1980 D half dollar is part of the long-running Kennedy half dollar series, a coin that holds both historical and emotional significance in United States coinage. Introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination, the Kennedy half dollar quickly became one of the most recognized coins in American history. By 1980, the series had already transitioned through several important changes, particularly in composition and circulation patterns, making the 1980 issue an interesting example from a period when a half dollar was no longer widely used in everyday commerce. The obverse of the 1980 D half dollar features a familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The portrait shows Kennedy facing left, capturing a strong and dignified image that has remained largely unchanged since the coin's introduction. Surrounding the portrait is the inscription Liberty, which curves along the top edge of the coin. The phrase, "In God We Trust," appears below Kennedy's neck, and the date 1980 is clearly struck at the bottom. Just to the right of the date, the small D mint mark indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. On the reverse side, the coin displays the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. The central design consists of a heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide, holding an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other. This imagery symbolizes the nation's desire for peace combined with its readiness to defend itself. Above the eagle is a circle of stars representing the states, and a banner reading "E Pluribus Unum" stretches across the eagle's beak. The inscriptions "United States of America" and half dollar surround the design, giving the coin a bold and patriotic appearance. By 1980, the composition of the Kennedy half dollar had long since changed from its original silver content. The 1980 D half dollar is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition gives the coin its characteristic silvery appearance, while keeping production costs lower than using precious metals. The removal of silver from circulating coins, which began in the late 1960s and was completed by 1971 for half dollars, marked a significant shift in U.S. coinage policy due to rising silver prices and economic considerations. The 1980 D half dollar was struck at the Denver Mint one of the primary coin production facilities in the United States. The Denver Mint has a long history of producing coins for circulation, and its D Mint mark is a key identifier for collectors. In 1980, a substantial number of half dollars were produced at Denver, resulting in a relatively high mintage. Because of this, the 1980 D half dollar is generally considered a common coin, especially in circulated condition. One of the defining characteristics of the 1980 D half dollar is its limited circulation. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, half dollars were no longer widely used in everyday transactions. Many people preferred smaller denominations such as quarters and dimes, and the half dollar became less practical for daily use. As a result, a large portion of the 1980 D half dollars produced were either stored in bank vaults, included in mint sets, or saved by collectors rather than being heavily circulated. This has led to a relatively high number of well-preserved examples available today. The condition of 1980 D half dollar plays a crucial role in determining its value. Coins that have been heavily circulated typically show signs of wear, including dull surfaces, scratches, and reduced detail in the design. These coins are usually worth only their face value or slightly more. However, uncirculated coins, which have never been used in transactions and retain their original mint luster, can be worth significantly more. High-grade specimens, especially those that have been professionally graded and certified, are particularly desirable among collectors and can command higher prices in the market. Another important aspect for collectors is the quality of the strike. Some 1980 D half dollars may exhibit weaker strikes, particularly in areas such as the hair details on Kennedy's portrait or the feathers on the eagle's wings. Coins with sharp, well-defined details are generally more valuable and sought after. Additionally, coins with clean surfaces and minimal contact marks are preferred, as they better represent the coin's original appearance. Error coins and varieties can also add significant value to a 1980 D half dollar. Mint errors occur during the production process and can include features such as double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, or die cracks. These errors are often rare and attract considerable interest from collectors. A 1980 D half dollar with a noticeable and well-documented error can be worth far more than a standard example, sometimes reaching into higher price ranges depending on the rarity and condition of the error. Proof coins are another category of interest for collectors, although the 1980 D half dollar itself is not a proof coin. Proof versions of the 1980 half dollar were produced at the San Francisco Mint and are distinguished by their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. These proof coins were specially made for collectors and were not intended for circulation. While they are separate from the Denver minted coins, they are often collected alongside them as part of a complete set. The 1980 D half dollar holds a unique place in the Kennedy series as a representation of a time when the coin was transitioning from a widely used denomination to a collectible item. Its design remains a powerful tribute to President Kennedy, and its continued production reflects the enduring legacy of his influence. Even though the coin does not contain silver and is relatively common, it still carries historical and numismatic significance. For many collectors, the 1980 D half dollar is an accessible and affordable addition to their collections. Its availability makes it an ideal choice for those who are new to coin collecting, while its connection to the broader Kennedy series provides context and depth for more experienced collectors. Completing a set of Kennedy half dollars often includes coins like the 1980 D, which help illustrate the evolution of the series over time. In addition to its collectible value, the 1980 D half dollar can also hold personal or sentimental significance. For individuals who lived during that era, the coin may serve as a reminder of a specific time in history, even if it was not commonly used in daily transactions. For others, it may represent the beginning of an interest in coin collecting or a connection to American history and culture. Next, 2022 half-dollar coin. The 2022 Pete half dollar is a modern issue from the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series, a coin that has remained one of the most iconic and historically meaningful pieces in United States coinage. First introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination, the Kennedy half dollar has continued to be produced for decades, evolving in composition, minting practices, and circulation patterns. By 2022, the coin had firmly established itself more as a collector-focused issue than a widely used form of everyday currency, making the 2022 P half dollar an important example of how modern coinage balances tradition with changing economic realities. The obverse of the 2022 P half dollar features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. This portrait has remained largely unchanged since the coin's debut, preserving the strong and dignified image of Kennedy that has become instantly recognizable with collectors and the general public alike. Kennedy is shown facing left, with detailed hair and sharp facial features that reflect both artistic skill and symbolic importance. The word liberty is inscribed along the top edge of the coin, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," appears below the portrait. The date 2022 is struck at the bottom, and the P Mint mark, representing the Philadelphia Mint, is located just to the right of the date. The reverse of the 2022 P half dollar features the presidential seal design created by Frank Gasparo. At the center is a heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide, holding an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other, symbolizing the nation's desire for peace and its readiness to defend itself. Above the eagle is a ring of stars representing the states, while a banner reading E Pluribus Unum extends across the eagle's beak. Surrounding the central design are the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar, giving the coin a bold and patriotic appearance that has remained consistent throughout the series. One of the defining characteristics of the 2022 P half dollar is its composition. Like other modern Kennedy half dollars, it is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition gives the coin its silver-like appearance while keeping production costs relatively low. Unlike the earliest Kennedy half dollars, which contained significant amount of silver, the 2022 P issue contains no precious metal, reflecting the long-standing shift in U.S. coinage away from silver in circulating coins. By 2022, the role of the half dollar in everyday commerce had significantly diminished. While the coin is still considered legal tender and can technically be used in transactions, it is rarely seen in daily circulation. Instead, most 2022 P half dollars are produced primarily for collectors and are distributed through special mint sets, rolls, and bags sold directly by the United States Mint. This limited circulation means that many examples remain in uncirculated condition, often preserved with their original mint luster and sharp details. The mintage of the 2022 P half dollar is relatively moderate compared to earlier decades when hundreds of millions of coins were produced annually. In recent years, the U.S. Mint has adjusted production numbers to reflect lower demand for half dollars in circulation. As a result, the 2022 P half dollar is not as common in everyday change, but is still readily available to collectors through official channels and the secondary market. Condition plays a significant role in determining the value of a 2022 P half dollar. Because most of these coins are not heavily circulated, many examples can be found in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. Coins that exhibit strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks are particularly desirable. High-grade coins that have been professionally graded and certified by reputable grading services can command higher prices, especially if they achieve top grades such as MS 67 or above. Another factor that can influence the value of a 2022 P half dollar is the presence of mint errors or varieties. While modern minting technology has reduced the frequency of errors, they still occur and can include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other anomalies. These error coins are often sought after by collectors due to their rarity and uniqueness. A well-defined error on a 2022 P half dollar can significantly increase its value beyond that of a standard example. The 2022 P half dollar is also part of a broader collecting trend that focuses on modern coins. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete sets of Kennedy half dollars, including both circulation strikes and special issues, such as proofs and silver versions. The 2022 P-Coin fits into this larger context as a contemporary example that continues the legacy of the series while reflecting modern minting practices. In addition to its standard circulation strike, The United States Mint also produces special versions of the 2022 half dollar, including proof coins and silver collector editions. Proof coins are struck with specially prepared dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and exceptional detail. These coins are typically produced at the San Francisco Mint and are highly valued by collectors for their beauty and craftsmanship. Silver versions, which contain a higher percentage of silver, are also available in collector sets and offer an alternative to the standard copper-nickel-clad composition. The design of the 2022 P half dollar continues to carry deep historical and cultural significance. The portrait of President Kennedy serves as a lasting tribute to one of the most influential figures in American history, while the reverse design reinforces themes of unity, strength, and national identity. Even though the coin is no longer widely used in everyday transactions, it remains an important symbol of American heritage and a popular choice among collectors. For new collectors, the 2022 P half dollar provides an accessible entry point into the world of coin collecting. Its relatively low cost and availability make it easy to obtain, while its connection to a long-running and historically significant series adds depth and interest. For experienced collectors, it represents a continuation of the Kennedy half dollar series and an opportunity to maintain a complete and up-to-date collection in circulated condition, often close to its face value. However, in rarity, all play important roles in determining value. Before you go, take a moment right now. Check your pockets. Check your drawers. Check your old coin jars. Because one small detail, one rare variation, could turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, because you never know, the next coin we talk about might already be in your hands. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin tells a story, but some are worth a fortune.